Hey guys, Sebbediah here, the self-proclaimed Zomboid expert and your favorite local boy toy. So, you've decided to buy Project Zomboid. You've played it for a few hours and yet you can't seem to survive for more than a week. If that's the case for you, then don't worry, because Papo Sebbediah is here to teach you the ways. You are currently an infant, crawling on the floor having no idea what the fuck is going on. But with my guidance, you will blossom into a skilled, handsome young man.
Daddy's little boy.
So get ready, my gamer boys and anime women, because I am about to teach you Our adventure starts within the settings menu, because as every veteran Project Zomboid player knows, the actual game begins before the game actually begins. If you've ever struggled with timing your hits, then this option is for you. Right here, select this.
You'll last longer than 5 seconds.
It will make zombies glow with a thick outline. After clicking solo, select custom sandbox as your playstyle. If you wish to install any mods, then go ahead. However, I will only be covering vanilla style gameplay with very few mods.
The list will be in the description, yay.
Now you will be prompted to select a spawn location. This choice is basically a difficulty slider for the beginning of your game. Starting from the most difficult, we have West Point. Spawn here if you have a vor fetish, because the zombies will treat you like the snack you are. They will eat and they will leave no crumbs. Riverside is for the more experienced player. The spawn locations here can be really good or really bad. If you have a gambling addiction or play Genshin Impact, this will be a good place for you. Muldrow is next on the scale and my personal favorite. If you are a hoarder, you will thrive here, because this place is full of storage units and warehouses, containing only the most succulent loot. You might be able to use it all to fill up your base, but it will never fill the aching void in your heart. Only a katana can do that. Lastly, we have Rosewood. This is the location I would recommend to anyone new to the game that is still trying to learn the ropes. It has everything you could possibly want in very close proximity, including one of the most popular base locations in the entire game. There is also virtually no danger here. You would be in more danger telling your art teacher your preferred art style is anime. Am I the only one whose art teacher hated anime? Or is it a universal experience we all had? In a nutshell, it doesn't matter too much where you choose to begin, as your first week experience will be mostly the same. Just like many beginner players, and for the sake of this video, I am going to go with Rosewood. Once you click next, you will be presented with almost as many options as I have STDs. I am riddled with filth. Please send help. On this menu, you want to do a few things. To begin, go down to presets and choose Survivor. Within the time menu, make sure to set your start time as 5 AM. This is a secret tool that will help us later. I also prefer to have my day length set to 2 hours, as I feel like I can get more done. However, this is entirely up to you. Another optional setting is the XP multiplier in the character menu. The default skill grind can be quite slow, so if you prefer less grindy gameplay, feel free to bump this up to 1.5 or even 2. Lastly, within the advanced zombie options, make sure to turn respawn hours, respawn unseen hours, and respawn multiplier all to 0. These zombies think they're Jesus, but I'm taking away their respawn privileges. This Jesus is staying in the tomb. Lastly, we will tweak the population multiplier. I personally very much enjoy the zombie difficulty to get harder the longer I play, so I set the population start multiplier to 0.7 and the population peak day as 62. This means that the more I play throughout the first 2 months, the more the zombies will reproduce. Fellas, is it necrophilia if both of you are dead? Now we're asking the real questions. The zombies over here be getting more action than me, but it's okay, because I can kill them. Be gone, thought I will protect my V-card with my life. Now here comes the fun part. Designing our character. All of these classes are viable, especially the burger flipper, because oh baby, you can flip your meat right between my buns whenever you want. For beginner players, I will recommend the burglar, because baby, you've already stolen my heart. Sorry, I will stop now. The burglar has a unique skill they begin with, letting them hotwire any and every car. To maximize your points, I recommend these negative traits. High first, because we all thirsty hoes up in here. Restless sleeper, which is easily balanced with one positive trait. Underweight and weak stomach, because all you need for these is to eat this dick, eat good food, which is not difficult with a simple cooking recipe. Lastly, short-sighted, because this genuinely does almost nothing. It's 2 free points. For your positive traits, you can choose whatever you'd like. However, there are some which I'd personally recommend more than others. To begin, wakeful. This will give you more time in the day, and it will kind of neutralize the restless sleeper trait in a way. Lucky, because sometimes you just need things to go your way. Stout, because being a strong, buff, sweaty boy really helps out in a zombie apocalypse. Oh, I love big, beefy, sweaty men. Oh. This trait also gives more carry weight, which is very valuable while you're running around choosing a base. And you can combine it with dexterous, which lets you transfer items faster. Perfect combo for running around and looting houses with efficiency. And finally, outdoorsman, so that you can contemplate your life choices in the cold falling rain without any side effects. You should have 1 point left, which you can invest into Speed Demon. Personally, I have totaled my car multiple times on just normal driving speed, so I won't be touching this trait. Now, all that's left is for us to design our character. What are you, a mommy or a daddy? Personally, I will be taking on the role of Barry Cynic, the brother of Larry Cynic, who is the main character of my Schizophrenia series. Go check out the trilogy, hashtag shameless plug.
Smoking dick and sucking baby. To make a long fucking story short, I put a whole bag of jelly beans up my ass. And it's 24 hours later now, I ain't find none yet.
Okay, here we go, here we are. As I play, I am going to try and explain everything I am doing and the reasoning behind it. And to begin with my explanations, do you remember when we changed that setting to 5 AM? Well, this essentially gives you about an hour to find a TV. You want to find a TV by the time it is 6 AM. I want to say about 70% of the times you are going to be spawning in a house where there should be a TV with you anyway, but in the off chance that you don't, what you want to do is just make sure to crawl over to your neighbor's house and see if they have a TV. Now, once you find yourself a TV, you want to go on it, turn it on, put the volume to 3, and select the Life and Living channel, and then don't forget to tune in. Now, the reason you want to do this is because every morning at exactly 6 AM, there is a channel that plays that shows you how to cook. It basically gives you free cooking experience, which is why we've set it to 5 AM in the morning, because this way we can catch this extra program and get ahead on the game. Now, this isn't the only program that plays. You want to make sure that throughout your first week or first 8 days, you hang around the TV as much as possible. Because at 6 AM there will be a cooking program, at 12 PM there will be a carpentry program, and at 6 PM there will be a random program with one of the following: farming, fishing, trapping, or foraging. These programs play every day throughout the first 8 days, and on the 9th day at 9 AM there is a complete TV network blackout. So make sure to catch these programs throughout the first 8 days as often as you can, preferably all the way through, because it's free experience. And later on in the game, once you've set up your base and looted a few places, you will be able to find books, which will increase your experience by multiplying it, and you will be able to combine that with VHS tapes, which you can watch and they will still give you experience even if you have watched the TV programs. So definitely keep that in mind for the future. And here we go. The program is beginning. Sometimes in front of the programs, before the actual programs even start, they do play an advertisement like they did just there, and that usually doesn't matter in any way, shape or form, but it does kind of make the world feel alive in the background while you're kind of actively killing all the zombies. So as you can see, we are leveling up in cooking now, and there is our first level. Now we are gonna level quite a bit because I am only planning on playing for these first 7 days. Therefore my XP multiplier is set to 2.0. So the amount of experience I'm gonna be getting throughout this series is gonna be quite fast and heavy. And there we go, 2 levels of cooking. Obviously with each level it is harder to level up, so it will not continuously level you up 2 levels at a time. But I do want to say, if you play your cards right and you read the books and everything else, you could potentially very easily get to level 8 or even 9 by just watching the TV. Obviously if you have your multiplier set to 1, that would probably be about 4 or 5 more realistically, maybe 3 if you don't read any of the books or don't support the skill. But then again, that is up to you you with your own world and your own gameplay. Now, after I've watched the TV, I usually like to have a look around the house to see what I'm working with. I'm gonna start here. Now we've got cooking books, and we also have a pen and a pencil. I'm gonna take the pencil because I want to have something I can write on my map with, and I would take the pen because I usually like to have all of the color variety in my backpack because they don't weigh much anyway. But the condition of this pen is quite low, and I usually just grab the ones which have a full condition because they last for absolutely ages, and it is significantly easier. Pro tip: before you open any door, make sure to put yourself in a ready to fight stance because you never know what's hiding behind every door. And the amount of times that I have died because I just recklessly opened the door and ran in, yeah, I lost count. This will kind of become second nature eventually, so don't worry too much about it. Just drinking out of the toilet, you know, casual. I usually also leave doors when I'm just randomly exploring houses and I want to know where I've been. I usually leave the doors open, but that part is up to you. I know some people prefer to have them closed, mainly because it's better in case there's a zombie attack after you, but it's a personal thing. While you're looking out for, especially in the kitchen, there's a few things that you want to look out for. The first one is the can opener, because this is going to be insanely helpful when you're out and about and you need some food and you don't have there's just a bunch of cans. You're not going to be able to open them without a can opener. So this is a must-have. Second one, water bottle. If you manage to get yourself a water bottle and you put it into your main inventory that's on your person and not your backpack, then your character will slowly kind of use it as a sippy cup whenever he's thirsty, which means that your thirst will not pop up for quite a while. And all you have to do is refill the water bottle every now and again. Definitely another must-have item. A saucepan. Now that is used for cooking, but it isn't a necessary item which I want. And there we go, there is the cans. So normally you wouldn't be able to open any of these without the can opener, and you would be so close yet so far. If you were starving, that would have been it, because you wouldn't have been able to open the food. Now we don't have anything in the kitchen. Now we don't have anything good in the fridge, nothing that I can use at the moment. So what I'm gonna do for now is just take potato and the canned pineapple, just in case I get hungry and I need food. Now let's check what we have upstairs. You will occasionally get a little board icon. This is when your character isn't having enough excitement, and this is pretty much an easy fix. All you have to do is find anything which reduces unhappiness or boredom or stress, and you just want to read it. Your character will just kind of go through it, have a little bit of fun reading his comic, and then the bored moodlet will pretty much go away. Also, another pro tip: if you are reading books and you're not doing anything else, and you do not want to just kind of wait around while your character is reading, make sure to just press these little arrows up here and he will read through it very fast. Now, if you do go into your settings, go into accessibility and find resume normal speed when timed actions complete. Make sure that has a check. What this will do is basically, if you are reading a book or you are washing up your clothes or doing anything which is a timed action and you press this little arrow button, as soon as that is done, your speed will resume back to normal. So make sure to have that setting ticked off. Ooh, we have a black pen. Good, we can add that to our collection. Earbuds, vitamins, magazine. We don't need any of that. We have another pencil, but we already have one, so nothing very useful in that room. Ooh, here we go. So the saw is one of the free items of the Holy Trinity. You want to make sure to grab a screwdriver and a hammer to go along with the saw, because these items will really help you out when it comes to carpentry. They are a must-have. I would even argue to have all the time in your backpack with you, or if not in your backpack, then always somewhere nearby. And we also have a bomber jacket and a work jacket. Both of these seem pretty fine. I am going to take the bomber jacket. You want to make sure to go ahead and grab any gear that you find, which increases your bite defense or scratch defense or both. Now, there is a little something that I do have to mention. When you find multiple shirts or multiple layers of clothes, like a t-shirt, then there could be a hoodie, then there could be a jacket, then there could be a coat, make sure to take off the underneath layer, which provides you with no defense, or make sure to not have too many layers of clothes on you. If you have too many layers of clothes, your character will become overheated. This will drain your energy, it will make your character sweat, and it will not be good for you or your character. It is very much not a good situation to be in. Here we go. So I'm gonna exchange this coat to a leather jacket, because that is gonna be a lot better. I'm gonna put that away, and there's nothing there but just a pen. Ooh, here we go, a first aid kit. Now, with stuff like this, with bags and first aid kits and anything else, you can just throw them on the floor, and then if you click here, you can pretty much look at everything that is inside of them. Another tip is that if you find any bandages or wipes or anything like that, painkillers, take them. You obviously don't need too many, but at the same time, they do not weigh that much, and you never know when you're going to be in need of some medical supplies, so make sure to grab those. Tweezers, they're not bad. They do count as part of a medical supply because you do need them to pull glass out of your body, but as long as you're careful, you don't really need them because you'll be completely fine. So I wouldn't bother too much about tweezers, but yes, you can use them to pull glass out of your own body in case you accidentally, I don't know, jump through a window or something and you get a glass shard stuck in you. Right, now that I've explored the house, what I usually do is I try to get a watch. Now, I don't have a weapon because there was no weapon that I find viable in this house. However, that is okay, because once you understand how zombies work, they are really not that scary. All you have to do is slowly walk up to one, attract it, and then wait for it to get to you. As soon as it does, you will see a green outline if you have followed the beginning and you've set up your settings correctly. And as soon as you see the green outline, you just have to press spacebar. This will, most of the time, push the zombie on the ground. And another pro tip, if you stand on the zombie, they will not be able to get up. Then you can pretty much position yourself and press spacebar again to execute them. This is a really good technique if you don't have any weapons, because you can just go up to zombies and, you know, obviously don't take on too many at once, but if zombies do come up to you, you can kind of approach them slowly and, you know, take care of them like this. Simple. Now let's see what we have on these zombies. There we go, red digital watch. Now, you want to make sure to grab yourself a watch because it will show you your time, obviously. Now, you want to make sure to always be aware of what time you're on because of those programs on the TV. So finding a watch off of a zombie should be your first priority when you come across zombies, of course. It can be any watch, but obviously the most preferred one is a digital watch, mainly because it shows you the temperature around you as well as your date as well. So it has the most information on you. Also, if you are collecting watches or if you grab a watch that you have, make sure that they don't have an alarm set because they will beep in the most inconvenient of times and they will get you killed. But once you do have a watch with an alarm function, make sure to set the alarm to 5:50 in the morning. This way, if you're sleeping throughout the night, the alarm will wake you up just in time for the cooking program in the morning. Now then, let's open this window. Let's go in, close it behind us, and let's have a look at what we have in here. Right, so we have a gas can. Now we are going to need that at some point, but they're not too rare, so I'm going to leave it here. Once we get a car, we are going to need to make a trip to a gas station, and this is where these things will come in really handy. But for now, we are only doing the first day, which on the first day you'll just want to make your way through the houses and collect things, weapons, food, clothing, all of that stuff. And here we go, we got the screwdriver. Now we want to grab that because that will be really useful, as I said. And we also have a welder mask. Now this is some really good headgear. There are better ones, but to begin with, this should protect us pretty well. So make sure to grab anything like this. You will need it. Also, if you come across a bin, if you equip a garbage bag as a secondary, it can act as a pretty good decent backpack for your first few days, until you find an actual backpack, that is. So I've just put all of my stuff in there, that can stay there. Now let's just have a look to see if we have anything in the car. Yes, we have a lug wrench, tire pump, those are good things, but we do not need them just yet, so we're gonna leave them here. And the car is locked, of course it is. As a burglar, we do have a really special ability that we can use. However, I'm gonna leave that for later because we don't want to have a car just yet. Also, as you make your way through the houses, make sure to check these little mailboxes because, as you can see, they will have something in them. This can usually be recipes or magazines, newspapers, very useful stuff. And if you get quite lucky, they might even contain a how to use a generator magazine. And honestly, the sooner you find that, the better. Make sure to always read these magazines that you find, whether you have read them or not. You can see in the little description, it says unread for me, and as soon as it goes green, it will say already read. So anything you haven't read before, make sure to read it, because these things will usually teach you a lot of very useful recipes that you want to know. Right, let's have a look at the garage, see if we have anything here. Oh, now, if your window doesn't go on first try, make sure to hold down the E button. Whoop, we got a visitor. Okay. Make sure to hold down the E button, because eventually your character will open the window. The only time when your character will not open the window is when the window makes this loud slamming shut noise, if that makes sense. And that means that the window is locked. But if you hold down the E button, your character will eventually open the window up. It might take a few tries, but it will happen. Right, let's see if we have anything useful on these guys. Some baggy jeans, right? I'm gonna wear that. Beta blockers, we'll take that because that is a useful item. That seems to be it, right? Okay. Let's go inside. Close the windows behind you. Always make sure to do that. And we have a metal bar. Now, this is a decent weapon. It's not the best, but it will work. So I'm just going to grab that in case I do need a weapon. An extinguisher. All right, well, that's new even for me. Wow. Can't say I found many of those, but I mean, self-explanatory. Puts out fires. Right then, let's get in the house. There's quite a few zombies. I should really be sneaking around. When you are sneaking around, try and stick right next to the wall, because that way your character will get into extra sneaky mode, and that is very useful. Right, the door is locked, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go off to the side over here, and we're gonna try and open the side window. Now, as you can see, he's having trouble, but if I hold down E, there we go. So that means that the door, the window, I mean, is locked, so I won't be able to open that window. But lucky for us, that's a creature. Lucky for us, there's multiple windows that we can try, so eventually one of them will open. If we just get in now, we don't have to crouch anymore. Close this. Let's take care of this zombie. Usually if you push for zombies from behind, they will fall pretty much immediately. So if you have a chance to sneak up on a zombie, then definitely go for it. Now, whenever I get into a new house, the first thing I usually do is locate the TV, make sure to turn it on, set the volume at 3, and set it to life and living. That way, I know that it's there playing in the background and I don't have to worry about the time. Also, if I'm rushing somewhere and I come into a house that I've already explored, I know that the TV will always be set on that channel. So if I'm just barely making it on time to get to the TV, I know I don't have to waste time setting up the channel because it's already set up. Right, then let's see what we have in the kitchen. Some carrots and some corned beef. Now, these are some really good ingredients we can use for cooking. However, we're gonna have to save that until we actually find a frying pan. Now, using a frying pan is the best thing ever, especially at the beginning. So make sure to keep your eye on one, and I will show you what to do with it once we actually find one. But for now, we're just gonna leave it as is because we can't seem to find one. Let's see what we have here. Just an empty bucket, so nothing useful. Nothing useful in the kitchen either. It is gonna take you a few houses of scavenging to find all of the things that you want and you need, especially at the beginning. But you know, that's the game. Make sure to always drink and always fill your water bottle whenever you can, because you never know when you're gonna run out. And especially at the beginning, you still have unlimited amount of water, so that's gonna make it really easy at the beginning. Here we go, hiking bag. Right, I'm gonna equip this on the back, then I'm going to drop this, and that means that I can select all of this and throw it into my new hiking bag. You can usually find hiking bags in places like this, and wardrobes and anything like that, so you definitely want to keep an eye out with these things. Now, we also do have a gun case, so if I throw it on the floor I can look into it, and it is a rifle. But the worst thing you can do as a beginner is try and grab a gun and shoot it. Trust me, leave guns alone for now. We will get into it at some point, but just think about it this way: guns are evil, leave them alone. Now then, let's take care of this zombie. You can tell that there's just one zombie in there because of the rhythmic, you know, banging on the door. If there was multiple zombies in there, like 2 or God forbid more, like 10 or 20, which has, you know, it does happen, then the door will be bashed on quite a lot more often, and eventually it will break. So if you hear bashing on the door, which is not very rhythmic, just run. Turn around and run. Unless you are prepared to take on a small horde, get out of there. But with this one, you just position yourself in front of the door, you click E, and then you click space right away. Easy. This will give a little bit of, you know, slight panic to your character, but it's the best way to deal with these things. And we have a electronics magazine. Alright, let's read that. Oh wow, and the zombie had a key. Now we're not gonna need this here. However, the key usually spawns on a zombie when you kill it. It has a, I don't know what the percentage is, but it has a chance of spawning, and it unlocks any door within the building that the key spawned in, which means that in a house like this it's going to be quite useless because all the doors are already unlocked. However, if you kill a zombie in, let's say, a prison or a storage unit and it spawns with a key, then that is going to become very useful, because that means that you can then open pretty much any and every door within that building. So if you're struggling with locked doors, definitely kill some zombies in the building and keep an eye out for the key. Now this seems to be a bit of an office, and we have a red pen. Okay, we're gonna grab that. So we're just missing a blue one. Now I'm not gonna take this one because, again, condition is height, and I want a good condition one. Oh, and we found some bourbon. Now usually you find these in pubs and such, so not a good sign that this guy has an office here and he's keeping alcohol in it. That's very unhealthy. But we are gonna take some of this bourbon because that will aid us towards the end of the week. So if you do find some, make sure to have at least one bottle somewhere where you know where that bottle is at all times. Now it is 11:50, so we're gonna go down and we are gonna sit in front of the TV because the program should be starting any second. Okay, there we go. The program's beginning. There's just an advertisement first. And what I usually do when there is a program like this, I usually either eat some food, which I am gonna do now. I'm gonna eat the pineapples. So we're going to open that and we're going to eat all of it because we are starting to get a bit hungry. Normally, you want to make sure to eat any type of fresh food that you come across within the fridges and saving the tinned cans for anything in the future. However, we haven't found much fresh food in the fridges just yet, but that's generally what you want to do. You want to eat the fresh food because it spoils, and leave cans for later because they stay good forever. Another thing I usually do as well while I wait for this program to be over, which you can do, is you take your backpack off, you put it on the floor, and then you go ahead and you go into your health tab, you go exercise, and you prioritize squats, put it to 20 minutes, and then you click OK. Now this will improve your fitness, which is really good because this will increase your carrying capacity and your stamina and everything else. So you definitely want to prioritize something that improves fitness over anything else. And you always want to make sure to do this around 12 o'clock in the day, because usually 12 hours after you exercise, you will be hit by as you can see, exercise fatigue, and this one will be on the legs. So if you do it in the middle of the day, the fatigue will come while you're sleeping in the middle of the night, which means that it won't catch you off guard in the middle of the day somewhere if you were to exercise in the morning or in the evening. So you'll basically sleep through the fatigue. So a little pro tip there for you if you want to build up your exercise, which you should. But yeah, while we exercise, if we want to just skip forward, we press these two arrows, and yeah, because of our setting, it will go back to normal time as soon as he's done. So this will build a lot of exertion. So what you want to do is make sure you get your hiking bag back, and then you want to find a piece of furniture, like for example this sofa, and you want to make sure you rest. This will basically have your character rest, and it will, as you can see, regenerate all of his stamina that he lost while exercising. That way the exertion won't catch you off guard while you're doing something else, like killing a bunch of zombies, because you don't want to be killing zombies while you're tired. That is a very big no-no. Right, I think we are done with this house, so we're gonna move on to the next one. Luckily, the next house is just over here, so we're just gonna walk out the front door. We're gonna sneak around. There isn't too many zombies in the area, so that's good. So we're just gonna sneak over here and get in the house, and we do have a zombie knocking on the inside of the door. Okay, so yeah, push them from the back and get rid of them. Now, this house has a lot of broken windows, which that is usually a red flag, but I'm not hearing any bashing or banging. So I think we should be fine, but we should definitely keep our guard up here. And that's why, because of the TV. Right, change that to 3. That should be fine. Not a safe house, this place, but it will do for now. Ooh, tomato. Okay, we're gonna grab that. I'm surprised we haven't found a frying pan just yet. Ooh, but we have a cherry. Right, eat any fresh food that you come across. Also, if you need to fatten your character up, eating ice cream that you find in the freezer is also very, very useful, which we have taken the underweight trait. So gaining you know, fatness for a character is gonna be very useful. Right, let's see what we've got upstairs. Now, I'm gonna be very much on guard because of those broken windows down there. Here we go. If you want to see if there is any zombies within the building, all you have to do is make some noise. Usually you can do this by pushing on the door, and as soon as the zombies in that room will hear it, they will come towards the door and they will start bashing up on it. And then you can take care of them just like so. Simple. And we have a blue pen with full charge. There we go. Our pen collection is complete now. Some matches. Now these are useful if you want to start a campfire, I believe. I'm not too sure because I've never done it, but I know you can start fires with these. So make sure to have this on you, or, you know, in your car or somewhere near you, because that is a useful item to have. Let's see if we have any supplies in the bathroom. Nothing that useful. Nothing much in here either. A gun case, right? As I said, we are going to be staying away from the guns. And last room, another gun case. If you really want to, what you can do is go on your map and all of the houses that you explore. If you find any guns or any other items of interest, like a car or anything, mark it down. That way, you know that if you go back to that house, or if you need ammo or any type of gun in the future, you can look on your map and it will all be marked down. That's usually what I do anyway. Now, the houses kind of end here in a way, so I think I'm gonna stay in my little comfy block and I'm just gonna make my way down to these ones now. Oh well, this looks like an interesting scene. Poor lady seems to have given in to the pressure, and we have a zombie, I'm gonna guess upstairs, and another one here. Come on, fall over. When you let zombies in through the window, you always want to make sure to, you know, tackle them down with your foot as soon as they climb over, because if you don't, they have a chance to kind of lunge at you on the floor, and that's not very, it's not very healthy. Ooh, now we've got quite a few interesting things going on here. Okay, right, we're gonna come back to this in just a second. First, I want to have a look at what we got going on up above us, because I do hear a lot of bashing, and that could mean that we have to kind of you know, escape and evacuate and escape the house, which this house looks quite interesting, so I'm hoping that's not going to be the case. Or is it downstairs? I am sure I'm hearing a zombie, but I don't think it's... Where is it? Alright, well, we'll find it eventually. So let's just have a look through all of this in the meantime. Another gun case, alright. Where is this zombie? I keep hearing it, but I don't see it. Okay, let's just grab these supplies in the meantime. We don't need more painkillers, so I'm gonna leave those. I have a feeling that zombie could be in the other house, which, yeah, that would make sense. Ah, okay, I found something that I like. Alcohol wipes. Now, if you do end up getting hurt, you want to have some form of a disinfectant. This can be literal disinfectant in a bottle that you can find, or alcohol wipes. Those also do a really good trick. So if you do find anything like that, you definitely want to make sure to grab it. Okay, so we have a kid's room with a revolver in here. Oh, these were some dangerous children. Okay, so we're just gonna leave that as it is. Let's just have a look through here. Maybe we'll find, you know, something that's useful. VHS Dog Goblin. All right, that would keep you entertained in the zombie apocalypse. And yeah, I was right. We've got metalworking, manual, the volume 2 of the Angler magazine. These are all very useful. You want to read all of these. So if I just speed it up, the guy should read it all. There we go. Sped up through it. And put all of these back. They are all read. Good. Alright, that's just a bathroom. Nothing here. Any supplies? Nope. And what about here? Just a box with anything good? A cooking magazine. Right, good. You want to make sure to read cooking magazines as well. They will teach you some recipes, I think. Yeah, this one. Make bread dough, make biscuits, make pizza. Very useful. Okay, now that we have explored the entire house, let's go ahead and tackle the kitchen. Lettuce, bologna, more ice cream. I'm gonna grab both of these, and I am gonna eat one of them because our character does need to gain a bit of weight. You see your weight on the info panel in your health tab, and it's over here 70. I think the ideal weight you want to maintain is somewhere between 75 and 80. That is the best one. So if you get above 80, you want to, you know, eat healthier and exercise. But if you go below 75, you want to make sure to gain it back up, which the best way, as I said, ice cream, candy, chocolates, stuff like that. Packaged corn and peas, that would go amazing into our food. Still no frying pan. Now that is very disappointing. And some cereal. I'm gonna grab that just because it'll be a good source of food. Now, we still don't have a frying pan here, but what we do have is this, a pot of stew. So I'm gonna use this as my demonstration. I am gonna need this pot, so what I'm gonna do is I am going to go ahead and I'm gonna cook this, eat this, and then I'll show you what you can use a pot for, because it's a very useful item. So what you want to do is you want to go ahead and click settings on the oven. Keep the temperature as it is, but turn the timer all the way up to maximum and then click turn on. Once you have that, you go onto the oven icon on your inventory and you simply, you know, drag and drop the pot of stew or whatever, any item that you have that is uncooked, and it will start getting red, and there you go, it'll start cooking. Now, while that is usually cooking, I either prepare some other bits or I make sure to go ahead and wash my character up and wash up all of his clothing. You want to make sure to keep your character washed and clean as much as you possibly can, especially at the beginning while you still have unlimited water, because I know that if you have dirt on you or on your clothes or any other, you know, substance like blood or God knows what else, then you can, I believe, become sick, I think. I'm not sure. But I know that if you do get hurt and you have dirty clothes on you, or you yourself are dirty, then it increases your chances of infection, which you do not want to get an infected wound because it is a hassle to get rid of. It's not too difficult, but, you know, if you can avoid it, avoid it. Now, while this pot of stew is cooking, this is another really good tip. If you don't have any bandages or you don't have a lot of bandages, go get yourself a nearby corpse, find some clothes, and rip the clothes to shreds. This will give you ripped sheets and dirty rags. Now, what you can do with the dirty rags is take them to a sink, and it will automatically give you, you know, the option, clean rags. So you just clean up all of them, and they will turn into ripped sheets. Now, those will be useful in a minute, so I will show you what to do with them as soon as this pot of stew is cooked. Okay, almost there. Okay, as soon as it's cooked, you want to make sure to take it out of your out of the oven and into your inventory, and always remember to turn the oven off. You can see whether it's on and off by the light on the, you know, on the oven, and you can also pretty much hear it as well if you listen. So there should really be no excuse for leaving the oven on. It will set fire to your house, so don't forget. Now, with this, you can see hunger 52, thirst -20, unhappiness -18. So cooking is usually really good because what you can do then is you can split it into multiple portions. I am going to drink all of this in one go because I need the pot, but usually, and we will, you know, I will show you guys this later on, we will discuss this later on, what you can do is split it into multiple portions, which will then let you have, you know, a lot of good food for a longer while. Now, we have an empty pot. What can you do with that? Well, you want to fill it up with water, and this is a very useful beginner's tip. And once you have it filled up with water, you want to go ahead and you want to drop it into the oven. Once it's in the oven, you want to turn it on and you want to wait a little while until it turns red. And then if you have any bandages or ripped sheets, which we do, you are going to be able to disinfect them. You want to make sure to do the same thing with the bandage. And then again, remember to turn the oven off. What this will do is it will sterilize the bandages and the rags, which is incredibly good. If you used sterilized bandages and rags on any wounds that you know, get on your body, then the risk of infection from that wound is minimal. So if you find yourself a pot, put some water in it, heat it up, and definitely sterilize anything you have. It will sadly not work on adhesive bandages, but it is definitely something worth having. And we are going to be catching the 6 o'clock program in just a second, so let's prepare ourselves for that. Yeah, here we go, the 6 o'clock program, and it is fishing. I have actually personally never got to do fishing in this game, so I can't speak much about that because I've never seen anyone do it or I've never done it myself, but I know that it is quite a useful skill to have, especially later on once you set up a farm and you have a base and you need a source of meat. Fishing would be pretty much ideal for that. Okay, there we go, so that's that done with. So what I want to do now, because it is slowly approaching nighttime, is I'm going to have a look at my map, and we still have quite a few houses to go through, but we are running out of daylight and I can see that we are getting bored. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can find any of the magazines. Or a book. Here we go. The best one is a book, because this gives boredom reduction -50. Sadly, you can't reuse the same book, so you are going to have to keep finding a new one over and over again. And there we go. Boredom gone. Let's make our way down to the house with a lot of noise. I can see the zombie on the other side, but I am going to get inside the house first and take the zombie on that way, because it is going to be significantly... Oh! Okay. Let's just close... Whoop, wrong button. Come on, just close the window. Yeah, we're going to make sure to take the zombie out now. Come on. Close this. And what else do we have going on here? Right, some bashing and banging upstairs. Let's take care of that. Let's see what's going on up here. Quite a few doors. Seems to be just one. Yep. Like I said before, the more you do this, the more you kind of get used to it. So it all comes with practice. And before you know it, you'll be surviving 100 days. Okay, bit of a slow reaction time there on your end, buddy. And there we go, that's all the noises eliminated. Let's just have a look what we have while we're up here. Nothing in the bathroom. A guitar. Alright then. Not something I'm gonna need, but, you know, fun item. Ah, okay, here we go. Right, so, these are riding boots. Now, there is a bunch of different boots, but the main ones are sneakers, then normal boots, and then riding boots. Those are the three main ones. These riding boots can also be called military boots. Those are on the same category as these. Now, it really depends which ones you want to wear. For example, I have just taken sneakers off and I have put riding boots on, mainly because of the scratch and bite defense. But that's actually not all they do. So the riding and military boots, they provide you a lot more defense, and they also give you a lot more power when stomping on zombies, which we are doing a lot right now. However, the sneakers, they might not have the defense or the little attack buff, if you will, but they do indeed do what they say they do. They let you sneak a lot better. So they make a bit less noise, and you are way less likely to get spotted when sneaking around with these shoes on. And then there's the normal shoes. Those are just kind of a combination of the both. A little bit of defense, a little bit of whatever, and they don't make too much noise. Personally, I always go with these because I don't really care about sneaking that much, especially in the later game. But if you are role-playing, or if you do want to be a more sneaky character, definitely consider what types of shoes you are wearing. Now, let's go downstairs and let's see what we have going on. Let's just check through all of the bookcases and the rooms. Nothing in here, and anything in here, just a laundry room. Alright then. Now, I am hoping for a frying pan, but before that, I see a radio. Now, if you come across a radio, you want to always check the radio stations that it has. Just gonna turn this one off because it's needlessly draining the battery, and that was a window. What window was that? It sounded way off, so I'm guessing it's gonna be one of the windows in that house. So I'm gonna guess and say that I am safe, but I guess we'll see in a minute. Right, so back to the radio. Whenever you come across a radio, always check the stations. There's gonna be the four main ones, which are the LBMW, NNR, and the Knoxtalk radio. The fourth one is, I believe, WBLN News, I think? Maybe? There is a fourth one. And they always have the same frequencies. However, there is one which is known as the Automated Emergency Broadcast System. And that gives you a lot of good information on what is going on during the day, as well as what is going on in the next day, tomorrow, including weather and events. So always make sure to check the radio so that you can see what frequency your emergency broadcast station is on, because that is very, very useful. Now, let's have a look through these then, shall we? Still no frying pan, so I guess that's gonna have to wait until later on again. However, there is 2 cooking pots. Now, what I'm gonna do is something which you can do, but you don't have to. As you explore the houses, because you have unlimited amount of water, what you might want to do is collect any refillable containers within that house, and then go up to a sink while you still have unlimited water available to you, and you want to fill all of them up. In default settings, the water should shut off anywhere between day 1 and day 30. So if you're lucky, you'll have water for about 3 weeks, and if you're unlucky, then the water can actually shut off like on day 2. So what I sometimes do, if I do plan on looking through these houses again, I fill up any water containers that I come across, house, and after I fill them up, I put them back into the cupboards of that house. Because then, if I come back again and the water is shut off, I'm gonna have a bunch of, you know, containers with water. So it is a little, it's a nice little thing you can do to plan for the future. Again, it's not necessary, but it does help if the water shuts off early. Right, we have seen everything we needed to see in this house, so we're gonna slowly make our way to the next one. Let's have a look through these posts right here. No, they're completely empty. That's fine. And I can see that we have some zombies in the area. Hopefully not too many, but we should be able to take care of them quite easy. Always make sure to check a zombie's inventory because they might have something really good that you need. And they might also have maps. Now, you do need maps. I'm going to talk about this later on. But maps, if you find any, read them. They are very useful, especially if you are like me and are playing with the map completely undiscovered. Okay, let's get into this house. Are we going to get in? Aha, there we go. Oh, look at this. This looks like a nice little place. Right, let's go ahead and go straight for the kitchen. I am really hoping that we would find this. Yes, good. Okay, let's put that in the backpack for now. And let's see just what else we actually have here. Oh, wow, we have a lot of good things here. And even a kitchen knife. All right, that's going to be very useful. Frying pan and a kitchen knife is definitely the two things you want to have when you're planning on cooking. Because there are some ingredients with cooking that you're not going to be able to do anything with unless you have a knife to cut them up first. And also, like I said before, make sure to eat all of the fresh stuff like fruit. And do we have any meat? We do. We have quite a lot of meat in the frozen, but we are going to use the can of corned beef. So I think, guys, as the last thing that we're going to do today is I'm going to teach you how to cook a very simple but effective recipe. So you have your, where the hell is it? You have your frying pan. Put it into your main inventory, and then all you have to do is click on it and you go on create a stir fry. This way you can add a bunch of random food which you have collected on your journey onto the frying pan as shown here. Gonna add some packaged corn, so we have vegetable stir fry now. Now, for the rest of the things, you will have to open the cans in order to use them. So for example, we have carrots, so I'm gonna open this. We have corned beef, so we're gonna open this as well. We have potatoes, open the potatoes, and we also have tomatoes, so open those too. So now we have all of these opened, we can add them into the stir fry. So let's add the potato, carrots, tomatoes, and to finish it off, corned beef. Now there are gonna be some ingredients, especially the fresh ones, which you are going to be able to use more than once. If you want to know how many times you can use this, I believe this bar, if you click on this little icon here, it will show you how much of the ingredient is left over. But as you can see, I have already filled up the entirety of the pan, so I can't use any more. What I can do is add spice. Now there is going to be a bunch of food items that you can add to spice it up, which will increase your happiness and decrease your boredom. So I only have butter available to me right now, so I'm going to use the butter, and I'm going to just eat the rest of this corned beef because there isn't that much left anyway, and throw those cans on the floor. And there you go. Look at that. You've got a stir fry ready to go. Minus 74 hunger, minus 25 thirst, minus 8 boredom, and minus 53 unhappiness. So what you do with this now is the same thing that you did before. You go into your oven settings, 120, turn it on, go into your inventory, and then drag and drop the vegetable stir fry there. And it should start cooking any minute now. There you go. You can hear the sizzle, and you can see the green bar as it cooks. You always want to make sure that you cook your food because sometimes it can be dangerous. For example, if I look at some of the frozen meats, you can see the prompt down there, dangerous uncooked. Same here, and it even tells you like, hey, this is better hot. And most of these meats you can add into the stir fry as well. So if you defrost them and then you cook them first for more experience, and then you add them into the stir fry, and then you cook the entire stir fry again. So very simple recipe, very good and very useful. Now while that is cooking, like I said before, I like to just refill my water bottles and then wash all of my clothing and my character. Make sure we keep on top of the cleanliness, and then we just kind of look into the oven and wait for the food to cook. It's almost done. The cool part is that as soon as this is done cooking, all of the stats that you have right now are going to completely change, and it is the most satisfying thing ever because the hunger, the number just shoots up. Watch it now, watch it. How cool is that? Right, it's burning, so I'm just gonna turn it off quickly, get it over here, and look at that, minus 96. Now that is amazing. What I usually do with this is I then go eat and I can split it into 4 different portions because you won't need all of it to keep you sated, which, you know, this can pretty much last you 2 days. This is 2 days worth of food. So definitely worth it, definitely do it, and it stays fresh for quite a while, so you can just keep it in your backpack. But in the meantime, we do need to gain weight, so I'm just gonna finish off this ice cream. And there we go, we have kind of a weapon, we know how to fight, we have a lot of food and items, we have clothes for protection, and we have a good house to sleep in. Let's just set this TV on, just so we don't have to go crazy about it in the morning. Let's have a look in the rooms, which this house seems to be relatively safe, so I'm feeling quite comfortable in here. So yeah, we're all good. Between 10 o'clock and 12 o'clock is usually when I have my characters go to sleep, and you will notice that sometimes, because of the restless sleeper trait, your character will sleep for about 2 or 3 hours and then wake up. What you want to do is maybe read a book after you wake up, or maybe eat something, wait about half an hour, and then your character will be able to go back to sleep normally. Alternatively, if you have found any sleeping medication, once you wake up, just pop one of the pills, and then you will be able to go back to sleep within a minute. Anyway guys, I hope that you have enjoyed the first day of this new series. There is going to be 7 episodes for 7 days for the first week, so I hope you do look forward to the next one. I'm going to try and show you as much as I can throughout the first week, and hopefully by the end of these videos you will be able to survive more than just a simple week. Because these little tips and tricks, they really do guide you through the game. They are the bread and butter of survival within this game. Anyways, hope you've enjoyed. If you have, make sure to leave a like. If you do have any other tips and tricks for your fellow Project Zomboid players, make sure to leave them down in the comments below. I would be interested to read them myself. And if you want to keep up with this series, then make sure to subscribe. I do have a few other series on this channel which you might end up liking. Anyway guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.
Check me out. Oh!